What's up, superstars? Back with another video. You got Superstar Rob, and you got Jess the Frog. How you doing, Jess?
I'm feeling fine, and you?
Oh man, I actually got someone here other than Joe beating me up right now. Some good punches you got going, guys. If you haven't already, don't forget become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button. Join the Superstar fam. Hit the bell notifications every single video, every single day. Also, Superstar VIPs is $2.99 a month. Start beside your name, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Over almost 1,000 videos at the end of this month, and the VIPs have been supporting us thick and thin through all that. So we appreciate you. We got more super duper rares than anything else. So you guys have been with us for so long. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And anyone can reach out to us anytime, X, Instagram, or Discord in the description below. Join Superstar Nation. Join the Discord. It's the cross-breeding of projects. We have people coming in. We had Pinnacle guys coming in. Then they cross-breed over to Veve. Then we had some Veve guys cross-breeding over to Crypto. You got some Cryptos cross-breeding back over to Pinnacle. You got a web of different projects, place to interact. Of course, support the main projects Discord as always. But definitely, if you guys want to come to the Walmart of Discords, join the Superstar Discord. Jess, how you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty good, and you?
I'm doing well. Anybody, if you don't know, Jess the Frog, he is a content creator. Make sure you guys give him a follow on X. You got him at Harvesting Frog.
Yep.
Give him a follow. From there, you can find the link tree, and you can find his YouTube channel, Jess the Frog. What's going on with the frog? Why are you the frog?
Okay, first of all, I'm a content creator. You're on my channel right here. That's awesome. But to be honest, that's my English channel. I don't do much English video. I'm mainly a French content creator. I've been doing content for over 3 years at 5 videos per week for since 2021, early 2021. So yeah, and why I'm talking about that's because that's the main reason that my nickname was chosen to be the Frog. That's because I'm from Quebec, Canada, and in Canada, Quebecer are called frog because when we talk in English, we have this Quebecer accent that feels like English people in Canada think we're talking like frog. So that's why I've become like just the frog and that's why there's also 2F in frog in most of my channel. That's because I'm the French frog, and yeah, that's why the frog. That's as simple as that.
All right. Definitely you know when someone's from Quebec by the accent, and I heard when you go to France to speak French, they'll pick up on it as well, right?
Yeah, but I've been able to get the French accent so well that some people have taken like few hours to realize. Wait a minute, you're from Quebec? I was like, yep. And it was like, oh God, you got so much our accent so right. That's great, but that's not the same for the English. I still got work to do.
So your background, and you could see from the videos here, you were in many different projects, but you do have a special place for Veve in your list of projects. How
Yeah.
is the French community? Do you find it's a thriving community? Do you find that most of your viewers are from France, or are they mainly Canadians such as yourself?
Oh, to be honest, there are 90% from France. Most of my community are from there, and they are. Uh, how would I say that? They're more
Passionate?
passionate about following me in France than they are in Quebec. I feel
Right.
like the reason's pretty simple. In Quebec, crypto and NFT are still see a little bit like, oh, it's the devil. You're gonna fraud someone with that. That's pretty sure, you know. That's a little bit why it's still taboo. But that's not the case in France. And when I went to Auxerre in France, to be honest, my channel's so small, 600 followers. That's so small, in my opinion. I feel like I'm not someone important. I'm there for the community. But when I went to France, I was like, oh my God, everybody's screaming, the frog, yeah, Jess, yeah. Was like a little bit superstar. I was like, what? Stop that, guys. I'm no more than you. But they're so passionate, to be honest. I'm talking about it, and I have so much memory that come back in my mind. Actually, I'm like, oh my God, I'm excited just to think about it. They're passionate. That's a great community, and that's why I don't have been able to give up really about creating video. I'm on a little break for like 1 or 2 months. Yeah, I got to admit it, but still, I don't want to give up. That's yeah.
What do you think? It's a good topic that you brought up, though. You talk about the break, right? Joe and I have done it for so long, every single day, but it is true that it can be very time consuming, and you got to really love it, and you got to come up with different topics. And we noticed, we've done videos about this, but we've noticed, but there's definitely been a decline in content in the space in general. I mean, Veve is one project that we've been following since the beginning. We started as a Veve channel, right? Before we got into many other projects, we started with that first. And we noticed that back then it was like, no matter when you went online, somebody was doing a live, and as time went on, it kind of pulled back. So do you think that we can see those days ever come back? Do you think that we can have a future where we can see that happen again? And what do you think it's going to take for people to come back to making more content?
Great question. Great question. What's oh my god, what's gonna take? It's gonna be harder to answer than might be able to be honest. But are we gonna get back those great days with so many content and so many watcher on a weekly basis? I hope. I think it's possible. Vivi still got the potential, but I think that's also possible that it's not might not coming back. I will not have said that 1 year ago, but now I think that maybe thing are might be going downward from there. It might be possible, and I say that because I think that some father got some concern, maybe right or partially legitimate. I think so. Yeah, but I think it's possible. I mean, we don't need much. I think we need something like, and my follower are gonna know that about me. I'm a VV-verse maximalist. To me, and when I say VV-verse, it can be Disney epic metaverse in which VV got their shop, but that's okay for me. If we can use our collectible in this VV, this metaverse or anything, but to me, we need something like that to create like a lot of engagement and so on. I don't want to jump on the VV-verse subject right now, but I think we don't need much to for the thing to come back. This and maybe some better VR headset in the years or two to come. That might be something that's gonna help a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I feel right now that so many things feel secret about Vivi that I think it's still got a potential if the secret I've heard that might be rolling in the background are rolling in the background.
So I think you brought up a great underlying theme without going specifically into the Viviverse. I think when it comes down to it is what kind of things can we do? So we know that in the past, this is my opinion on the topic. In the past, what made the masses come relative to the original user base? It was ultimately, I believe, the flipping aspect of it. At the time, you went for a drop. It didn't matter what you get in the early days. You'd be able to flip it almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
Some collectibles had insane levels of multiples times in increase. There was a lot. It was a different time back then, and that attracted a certain type of crowd. But things have changed since then. For example, there's been a cleanup in the app when it comes to the whole gems. There's now cash out and things like that to make it a little bit more legitimized. You don't have that kind of black market gems being passed around, sold for 0.2. There was a whole credit card scandal, all those things. But people were very interested in that financial aspect. I think people were putting financial hopes and dreams into it. You heard stories of people loaning on their houses, for example, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think in the future, that will help. Don't get me wrong. If you go through another run like that, that will help. But I think
I agree.
I think it'll help. But I think what matters more is the utility. So the form of the utility. So what made Veve great before was that. But now what can make it great in the future will be some layers of utility, and it can come in different forms. But I think ultimately the utility given, it has to connect with the average Joe, as I like to say. Because if the average Joe can say, I'm going to come and buy something and I can do something with it, they may be more receptive to buying. If you, most average people in my life, at least, they say, well, what can I do with it? And if I honestly, the answer is really not much. You can project an AR, go in the, make, if you're a vaultaholic, you can do some cool things with it, no doubt. But they're not interested in just buying something that they can't do with. They want to be able to do something with it. So I think that's why when you talk about the Veve versus maximalist, it makes sense, because the Veve verse is going to be a layer of utility that can help you do something with your collectibles. And I think that if that happens, we might see some more content creation. We might see an influx of more people. What do you think?
To be honest, I can go. I'm gonna go further with the viewers. I think it's not gonna bring only some utility. I think it might bring hundreds and hundreds of utilities for many communities, because now we think about, oh yeah, our Marvel communities, and yeah, but we can bring any communities in any metaverse. I mean, you can talk about any community. Think about it, okay? But I think it's. I'm gonna try to bring it correctly. Give me a second just to translate it in my mind, but I think it's gonna create a social interaction and a community building that's gonna change the way we think of social network. Okay, I think the fact that we're gonna be able to meet, interact, build community around shared interests, it's gonna be big, because you don't need to like Disney stuff to want to go in a kind of a room where everybody's liking the same thing that you like. I think just that can be nice. If you got a VR headset, it's even more incredible. Now, if it's in a room with a lot of things like Maseratis and Lamborghinis, and you're in a community of about cars. I mean, that's incredible to go there. Talk with people, interact. I think the social aspect of it's gonna enhance the value of owning NFTs. It's gonna add more fulfillment than solitary ownership. I think it's really important. It's gonna rise the emotional and nostalgic value because of the experience that might make because this might make the experience more meaningful for people. So yeah, I've read a little note I've taken beforehand, because I was like, yeah, that's something I want to bring. I think just because of that, the Viviverse is gonna be bigger than people think, and I think it's why we don't got it yet. It's gonna be too big, and they saw that.
So yeah, I think the Veve verse, there's potential with it, no doubt. I'm not really sure what to think though, because I was there during DCon in 2022. They had the roadmap. They talked about gamification at the end of that roadmap. So they also did they showed us, right? They showed us the home space. Then some of the releases from Tales of the Rizzo, who did a fantastic job, but it did look a lot different than what we saw before. So I don't know. I honestly, at this point, don't know what to expect with the Viviverse. I think it has potential for sure, especially the gamification part of it. I think I'm very attracted to that, because it's an example of something that, maybe people will be able to spend more time in there from there. You talked about the social aspect, which is pretty cool. Maybe you can go into certain rooms. One other thing I want to bring up was this whole Marvel airdrop, because, and Veve does this sometimes. They do say things,
Yeah,
that makes the speculation run wild, but it may turn into nothing. At the end, it says, "Who doesn't love an unplanned gateway to the Marvel universe?" So I think it's for sure written in the stars that they're going to make a Viviverse where maybe a set can get you access to certain areas. Okay.
But wait, that's you didn't read me that before before we started the video. You read that a little bit to me, but you didn't read the end, and now I'm like, what? Wait a minute, buddy. The Marvel universe, if Disney's gonna make a universe, a metaverse with Epic Game, for sure the Marvel universe is gonna be in there. It's not gonna be in the VVverse. So is I think it's like a clue. No, am I speculating too much right now?
Well, this is the thing though, right? Like I think it's fun to speculate, but we know from the past that
Yeah,
the community can sometimes read something and maybe read into it a little bit too much. But
yeah,
I do think there's a truth there. There's an underlying theme because I've mentioned this before that the VVverse is going to be gated. I think there's going to be certain worlds within the VVverse where you would be able to access it if you have a certain set, and maybe the Marvel airdrop will be one of them. But again, it's speculation until it's here. We don't know for
okay.
sure.
I'm gonna, and I can show proof of what I'm gonna say. Okay, but before, for at wave 1 and wave 2 of the VVverse beta, they sent some invite to people. I had some whistleblower sending me some emails from Proton with some screenshot like, don't share that. I was like, oh my god, that's nice. And I was looking, and I've received a lot of information. It stopped the day they posted about the Epic game and Disney Metaverse. This day it stopped. At this day, I didn't receive any more clue, whistleblow since then. Uh, and I think it's a little bit weird because I also know that people have received an email this day about the VVverse and about the NDA they already signed to be in the VVverse. So yeah, I think it's weird. It's weird, and I feel like it might be another clue that there's something maybe with the viewers. Again, that's speculation. I don't want to. That's I got no proof about that, man. But my mind is telling me, damn, everything seemed to be. I don't know how you say that in French. It's pretty
Well,
simple, but yeah,
well, maybe yeah. You mean it's lining up, maybe
yeah,
something
it's
along
lining
those
up.
terms. Yeah, I think with the, I mean, it's okay to have an open mind and speculation. The Epic Games was big news when that came out, right? The amount of
Yeah,
investment that Disney was doing for that. Where the Veve can fit into that, at the end of the day, they do have Marvel assets, right? Marvel does have incentive that if these get traded, they're going to take a little bit of a fee every single time it's traded. They get a percent of the transaction fee. So they may have some interest in doing it. I think that they will still continue to sell new assets along the way. There may be other third-party apps as well that can integrate into it. I don't think it's completely out of the question. If the assets and they're built on Unity, they may not be rigged. I mean, at least not all of them, but the ones that are, there may be a kind of a third-party partner platform integration that can happen between Veve and any kind of Marvel universe, and because they have those Marvel assets. So I think your speculation is not unreasonable. But like as we know, right? Like it is speculation until it exists.
yeah,
And I think the VVverse. I mean, we know that there's about 100 people I think in beta right now, maybe a little bit more. So they've all, I mean, yeah, they're on NDA, but you hear rumors here and there, and I think that there are some pretty cool features that will be coming, that will be interesting nonetheless, that will be different, and ultimately, I think that there may be some pretty cool things for the community who are here right now to hang out in. I'm not sure. I wouldn't call myself a maximalist. I think that it's going to be great. But at the same time, I think that for someone like me, it may not attract me into that environment, right? I may not be pulled into that as a community member. I'm more interested in maybe the mobile gaming aspect. The social aspect for sure is cool, but I'm not sure how that's going to go. Maybe we'll do some YouTube channels in there, go and do some YouTube videos in there, right? So there's potential, but I'm having a really hard time wrapping my mind around it until I can see it, right? I need to see it to really understand it.
yeah,
So I'm waiting for that day.
yeah. I think that's legitimate from you. Until you don't know what you got under your hand, you don't know what you can do with it. That's
Exactly.
my belief is pretty simple. I think they ditched out the Weavers. I think we're not gonna get any Weavers anymore. I think we're gonna get the Epic game Metaverse, and Vivi is gonna be. I was gonna have multiple shop. It's gonna have Vivi Comics, Vivi Regular. I think Vivi Vibe is gonna be the music part, and I think they are building multiple apps for this reason. Otherwise, I don't see the utility of having another app, and I don't see the utility of having this kind of underlying categories that's not really useful under unless for run English with VV Vibe. No, to me it feels like it's going to be the name of another apps with music stuff on it. I feel they're building shops. That's my belief right now.
I can definitely see shops. My understanding is for now it's still based on Cavernous, but Cavernous is supposed to be kind of a plug and play. So I don't see why it couldn't be interoperable when that eventual Epic Games universe comes out. I think we're probably quite some way out for that. But I can definitely see being in the VVverse and having options to buy, right? And we may even have, and this is where it comes to, policies, right? We just did a video this week actually about the US bill that's coming out tomorrow. They're going to talk about it. And it's called the New Frontier of Technology, something along those lines. I don't know if you saw the video. No. But there's actually a bill in place right now defining what's a covered NFT and giving very specific requirements, what makes it covered and what's excluded. And really what makes of NFT excluded is any kind of promise of valuations. But on the flip side, NFTs as virtual land is valid. That is covered under a non-security. That will be an NFT. Loyalty points, rewards. You can do these things with NFTs, and it will fall outside this idea that it's kind of like a security, right? Where you run into trouble is you make any kind of promises of valuation. So if the Weaververse does have land, and there's no promise of price appreciation, that would be considered an NFT that would fall under that bill. So people now have incentive to say, okay, well, I will go buy this land so I can use the utilities that are there. And you may end up with some kind of mini reward economy within it. I just don't think the rewards can necessarily be straight crypto, right? They may need to be like, you saw Veve, they use MCP as their loyalty points now. So maybe the rewards could be MCP because it's not a true cash value. It could be other collectibles. It could be other land. It could be access to things. So I think there's a lot of potential there for the reward system. The Weaververse can add another layer of rewards. I think that would definitely help with the collectability and the interest with the collectibles. Do you have anything to add to that?
I don't know about the potential of land. To be honest, I don't feel it fits with VV anymore because I'm gonna relay my my opinion on the fact that I got land on the Illuvium, and at the moment they only produce fuel for the other game, but they produce something. That's the utility of it. And I don't see the potential of the lands if we don't at least got hundreds of communities with thousands of people in each of those communities in a metaverse related to Vivi. I feel like that's something that might be needed and got potential in 10 years, but like right now there's not even a game related to Vivi or to there's nothing to connect them all. In the Illuvium ecosystem, at least the land right now is only producing fuel, but the next step is going to be to train Illuvials, Pokemon, for other players. So if you're better than someone else, so people's gonna want to pay you more to train their Pokemon. So yeah, there's gonna be multiple utilities. You can no, that's not right. There's not only one utility. There's two utility on the land actually, because you can scan them to find bio data and find skins that you can sell. So yeah, there's something to do with them on VV. If we don't get at least a community of people that might want them for useful purposes, I don't see the potential of land. So Yeah,
That's
my
a
point of view.
that's a great point, and I think that's exactly what the bill's trying to clarify, which is what Illuvium's doing. Where what is the reward?
Yeah.
The reward is going to be linked to the game. Now you can then take that asset, maybe you get an NFT and then go sell it, but that's okay because the reward system falls within that NFT rules and requirements. So I really like that. I agree with you 100%. If it's just land without utility, what's the point? Right?
And I don't think to the fact that, oh, you can put a shop and sell things on them. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't see this potential either, because you don't even have community to be coming to look at your stuff and to be at least a minimum interested. So yeah, again, the the uh the potential that we had presented in the past for the VV land don't got as much potential as I think they did in the past.
Well, things have changed. Like you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier in the conversation about secrets, right? I think, are you referring to like maybe just not being so forward with the VV verse, for example? Like we haven't
Yeah,
really seen that many sneak peeks, and we don't really know what's going on. The OUP got scrapped, and then they changed it. Like, is this what you're referring to?
a little bit, and I'm here from. I was there in 2020. I started my French channel in 2021,
Oh wow.
and I feel like since then there was a lot of of little secret. We know now, for example, DVD wasn't really talking with Nintendo in 2020 21. If he was, that's that. Nothing was in Chambol to create a Pokemon NFT. It wasn't ready. Nothing was ready back then. But it's in the past. It feels like, oh, it might be a secret on. But right now, they might be talking with anime company. Like now they got Wiz Media. What are they gonna do with Wiz Media? Are we gonna get only manga, or are they gonna be able to do more? I'm a fan of manga and anime, like a lot. So this could be big because those community like to hang out with each other just for the fun to hang out. So on a metaverse, that could be great. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've talked too much a little bit, and I've lost the basic line of what I was saying.
Not at all. I think I hear your message loud and clear, and I was curious when you mentioned that because it kind of relates to another topic. It is big news today that there was no there's a general feel of drama within the community on Vivi, and
Oh
it
yeah,
stems, in my opinion at least. I think that one of the best ways to manage that drama would be a little bit more communication on things that have happened in the past that never really were clarified. I think you bring up the Nintendo as an example, and if David, you has come clean and said we don't got Pokemon, and I remember I got in the Discord. You could not convince some of the people in the Discord that they don't have Pokemon. So I did a video and I played David you straight up saying that it's a license that they have yet to get, but they would love to have. And I made the video and I sent it, and it wasn't enough. They said, well, obviously he's not going to share the secret. So I think Vivi can get themselves in trouble sometimes with that speculation nation.
yep.
And I think some of the drama could be squashed with the futters, if you want to put a label on it, with just a little bit more transparency on, we said this, now we're doing this. I just feel like they've become very closed in communication. They've decided, maybe because they've been caught up sometimes in some of the things they've said, and then it didn't go as planned, or they missed deadlines, whatever you want to call it. But I think that they almost need to be a little bit more forward and proactive with what happened before and where they're going to go, because I see some other projects with a little bit better roadmaps. I think a clearer roadmap going forward with Vivi, like we know they don't want to be just a marketplace that just sells digital collectibles. They want to be more than that. But I think a lot of the people who've been around for a long time, they've lost that clarity of where they want to go in the future. So why don't you add to that?
It, there was some secret that was true. In the end, this secret that ran out for 1 year at least was true. Marvel, they were stuck for at least 1 year that, oh, we got Marvel. Vivi got Marvel. And people were like, no, Vivi's never got Marvel. And ultimately, what did we got? Marvel. And that's pretty big. So I think those some of those secrets were true. And that's why I feel there's still more in the pipe a little bit. That's why they stopped the communication a little bit too. I think, as you said, they got caught a little bit in speculation that ended up being a little bit dangerous. But now, my opinion is that they lack a lot of transparency. That's lacking at the moment. They need to be a little more straightforward. I think at maybe to put a potential roadmap. I don't know. Maybe yeah, there's something lacking in communication in the VV team. And to be honest, most of my French community think that the project still got a lot of potential, but they'll they start to lose trust in the administration a little bit. That's that's a lot of message I got in private or under my video comment. And they're not fodder. They're dedicated fan with thousands of collectible.
So, do you think that in order to resolve that, do you think bringing back, let's say, daily, weekly AMAs, probably too much, monthly AMAs? Um,
Bi-weekly, maybe monthly at least.
do you think
And
that would help?
and answer honestly some of those questions like no, we can't answer that. I don't got an answer for that. Just be honest about it. Stop trying to be I think the VV team has become perfect politicians sometimes. You just you ask a question and they're what, just yes or no, or do me a straight answer. Answer me like if I have 5 or 10 years old. Make it simple. I think sometimes they're trying to avoid a little bit, and it feels weird. And I trust them, and I'm the kind of person that still trusts them a lot, even if a lot of people don't trust them anymore. I'm like, no, they don't deserve to be untrusted. I think, but they need to communicate better. That's for sure.
Yeah, so they just reminded me because actually the reason this collaboration happened is we did a video, if I remember correctly, which is
Yeah.
VV to ditch the OMI token. We got a lot of blowback on that video, but it's the truth because it doesn't mean that the OMI token will not give some form of utilities that can then be used within the VV app. What it means is that due to regulation concerns, they don't want to associate with the OMI token. They want to detach them so their NFTs are not linked to cryptocurrency. This is why that we saw, for example, the vault and the reserve wallets have been totally burned because originally when the app was made, those wallets served to back every transaction with OMI. That's not needed anymore because really you don't need OMI, you just need gems. And then OMI to NFT can happen on a third-party platform. The OMI utility calculations can happen on a third-party platform. We provided evidence from Foster that 10 million OMI will no longer be housed in the web app. You'll probably bring it over to Stacker instead, and that's how you're going to get your MCP points. So it made some people mad, and you asked a very good question. It was, are you sometimes concerned that if you give these kind of videos, these titles speaking critically in any way, that you may be blocked? And I think that comes from a period of time where there was a lot of people being blocked. And honestly, the answer for us is no, because we know the VV team. We try not to cross the line, but at the same time, we think that what we're saying is based in truth. And we're willing to risk that potential of being blocked to just give an opinion that we think ultimately is helpful for the people listening, the community, and sometimes for VV themselves. So what made you say that? Do you feel as a content creator that you feel scared to express yourself?
Oh yeah, sometime. Yeah. Oh, totally. Not because I think they're like super bad and they're gonna block me because oh yeah, I think something a little bit different than the team is doing or are planning to do. or I got a bad opinion one day. But I feel like they did blocks people in the past, but I got to admit that some of those people, I think they were right to block them. But some of them, and I don't want to bring names because I don't think it's useful. I don't want to bring line on them. But some people have been blocked, I think, by Vivi, and I was like, there's no good reason for that. I think I miss, unless I missed something, those people didn't really deserve to be blocked and their account to be suspended because they were sharing concern. Okay, they weren't sharing it in the right way. You can say everything, but there's a way to say them. If you're not polite, respectful, you don't show that's concern that you have, and you're bringing it with complaints and being grumpy. I mean, yeah, it might not work, but I feel it might. In the past, at least, it was a little bit dangerous, and now that's not only because of the team. I think the community has become a little bit like, uh, in French, we said "à couteau tiré," which mean everybody like got a knife in their hand, and everyone as soon as everyone's saying something they don't like, we got stabbed. We can't say
The
any.
pitchforks.
Yeah, okay, the
The
pitchfork.
pitchforks.
We can't say anything. Oh, we're father. And I've been lately said, "Oh, you're just a father," because I was raising a little bit concern at some place, and I was like, "Dude, I'm one of the biggest moon boy you don't have on VV. Look at my French channel. Like over 600 video on VV alone. I feel like you can say I'm a father, but on the other side, on my channel, because I don't complain much about VV. I only got Moon Boy comments most of the time. I'm like, oh, you're still thinking VV's gonna thrive? You're an idiot, fucking Moon Boy. And I'm sorry for swearing. Cut it afterward. I'm sorry, but uh, people are swearing about me because I'm still supporting VV. So it's hard right now to be front forward on the community. I think it's harder than I think it would be after 3 years.
Yeah, I think that probably isn't what the community would want to be. Sometimes I think the community could be its own worst enemy. If the ultimate goal is to have growth in the community, you can't have the divide. So, I mean, if the Fudders are saying something, if the Moon Boys are saying something, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. And if you can interact in a way that's respectful, I think in the end everybody will be better off, and the community will be better off. Because definitely you do see that sometimes. I mean, we've received plenty of very, very negative comments, and we've actually never blocked anybody. We just respond. And I think that it's just better if everybody just, if you can disagree and still do it in a way where you don't have to get dirty with it. So no, you should be entitled to an opinion. People can disagree with your opinion, provide their thoughts, and you can go back and forth all day long. But I think it has to be in a way that's respectful. And I agree with you. I think that sometimes, especially since we are content creators, right, we have to risk providing opinions that people will not agree with. And there's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with it. The question is, do we really want to create an environment where it's pitchforks out, block that person, demean them? We don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that. And I think it's the wrong way to go about it. It doesn't actually encourage growth, right? So it's not a good thing.
Eh, Not that I want to protect content creator. Everybody can be wrong and so on. But I think this vibe that we got right now, of this pitchfork vibe, is not great, because in the French community we were like 6 to 10 content creator, or three now, and I don't think they're publish really much more than I do, which mean once every 2 weeks. So I think the vibe of the community is not helping content creator to push Veve up right now. That would be
Well,
concern.
yeah, absolutely. I think that because we've seen it, we've experienced it, right? Like there's a certain subset of the community who may decide to try to discourage a content creator like such as us if they disagree with our opinion, whether that would be, spamming the post, attacking other projects that we like. I mean, we've had accusations of illegal activity. Like we've had all kinds of things, and we just respond to them because that's what we have to do. But generally speaking, I think content creators don't want to deal with that. They just want to give their opinion. It's never advice. It's just opinions, discussions,
Yeah.
topics. It's entertainment. People listening like this stuff. They want to hear about it. Open your mind to different ideas. And I think it could be better. The community could be better in the end because of that. Okay, so I think we covered pretty much everything we want to talk about today. But before we end it, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Not especially.
Okay. So, guys, before we head out, thank you all for listening. Make sure you guys go give at Harvesting Frog a follow on X, and you can go to his link tree. He has a French channel and an English channel. Give it a subscription, give it a subscribe. Just really appreciate you coming on today. Really enjoyed talking to you. And I think we covered a lot of great topics here. So thank you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. If you want to see good content, I got a good podcast with Sanjay on my English channel. It's not a new podcast. It's pretty old, a few months ago, but still good stuff. Go see that and have a good day.
Yep. And guys, before you go, do not forget, become a superstar, smash the subscribe button, join the superstar family, hit the bell notification to get every single video every single day. Almost 1,000 videos at the end. I think it's September 29th. I'm actually not going to be here. But on the 30th, I'll be back. So September 29th will be our 1,000th day. On the 30th, we'll do a celebration. And again, thank you to our VIP guys. You guys are incredible. Everyone take care. See you next one. Bye-bye.